Okay, I have to continue my Sherlock reviews. So let's begin with the second episode of the first season. Why do I have a bad feeling I might regret watching this episode? Oh, it's over! Oh, now I have to review this. Hello everyone and welcome to another review by the Dynamic Do-Over. And today we shall be looking at episode 2 of Sherlock season 1, The Blind Banker. Now, before I begin, I just want to say this episode was written by Stephen Thompson, who you might all remember from Doctor Who, who wrote The Curse of the Black Spot, Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS, and Time Heist. Now, those episodes were not good. Who am I kidding? They were awful. But does that mean his Sherlock writing is terrible? Well, no. The Blind Banker is a well-written episode, but it suffers from a few things that really let the episodes down. So the plot for The Blind Bankers, some bank wants Sherlock to find out why there is spraying paint and how someone got into the office and didn't get caught on camera. And did I mention this building's like 20 stories high and it was the top floor. So, that is a good case. So, Sherlock and Watson try to find out why and who this person is. And along the way, they discover Chinese smugglers who are shipping artifacts from China to all places around the world. This is a great idea. But the one thing that really lets this idea down, it's stretched way too far. Okay, let me tell you, the first 20 minutes are the best part of this episode. Like, you see the differences between Sherlock and John's life. How John is buying food and his card isn't working, while Sherlock is fighting some guy in his apartment. And that is interesting to see the differences between the two. One has a normal life, while the other one has the extraordinary life. And that's good. Then we have how Sherlock is trying to find out who offers it and why he was targeted. Like how he runs through this floor to discover who this person is and why they were targeted. And that's so fun. Like, you see him running around with a serious expression on his face. And that is so fun to watch. And then when Sherlock and John find this guy's apartment, or flat for you UK people, the guy is killed. Like, the police come and they think it's suicide. But how Sherlock tells them that he was murdered is so well-handed. Like he tells them that he was left-handed, how he wrote with a pen, how he drank his coffee, how he answered the phone. And he said, if you were left-handed, would you shoot yourself with your right hand? No, you wouldn't. So, now that's interesting. But then, that's when the episode starts drawn out. Like, Sherlock is this is a good episode. Like how some of the moments are just filled with Sherlock and John getting to know each other. And I like that. Good character development. And these are some of my favourite scenes between Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman. Like, these two are great actors. And I really find these two characters interesting to watch on screen together. But then there are moments just drawn out that don't have to be there. For the example, the scene with the spray painter. Yes, Sherlock knows a lot of people, but you don't need you don't have to add this person in. That scene was just so John could get arrested and take the blame for that guy. Which is a fun scene to watch, but I think they didn't need it. And it also suffers from some cliche things that I will talk later on. But soon another body is found, and the same Simba has appeared. So Sherlock is thinking these two people are connected, and finds out these two people go on planes to different countries, and that the last country they went to was China. So he deduces that these people are smugglers who might have stolen something from their bosses. Now that is an interesting theory, which for Sherlock is a theory until it's proven corrected. But how did he get these ideas that these two stole something from their boss? Like, really only one person stole this. But right now that's Sherlock's theory, that that one of them stole something from their boss, and they didn't know which one to kill, so they killed them both. But until up to then, like, Sherlock just thought about this and went on with this idea. Like, what if the guys just stole money from them? Or what if one of them just got killed by accident and the guy made a mistake? Which is possible. Like, this is just a theory, which came out of nowhere. Soon, Sherlock and John head to a museum where they think someone who's gone missing after Sherlock notices her phone books and papers are completely soaked after the few days of rain they had, breaks into her apartment and finds out there hasn't been anyone, but the killer who killed the other two people was in there trying to kill her off too. So Sherlock and John goes to the museum where Sue works, and they find out she's missing. What is really going on? That Sue has been hiding out in the museum, making tea for herself. And the reason why Sherlock knows that Sue is hiding is because the teapots have some tea in it, and she's been gone for a few weeks now. And it turns out she used to be a member of this smuggler business, and tells Sherlock that they use that these symbols or codes they use, that these create words for them to communicate, and it takes a book to translate them. Then Sue also reveals that her brother, which is a complete cliche, like, oh no, it's my brother. Like, to tell you, like, the lights just go off and Sue is killed by her brother, and that's a complete cliche. Like, it's like I don't like crime dramas. They use cliches all over. They use theories which have no proof to back them up. Like what happened earlier with Sherlock, or like the killer's a family or a friend. Last episode, the killer had no connection with any of the people that he murdered, so the police couldn't trace it back to him. But with the brother, the police can trace it back. Like, if they were going to send anyone to kill Sue, send someone that she doesn't know. But anyway, she is killed. John and Sherlock must find a book that both persons own before they were murdered. So they have to go through all the books the two dead people own, and it takes a while. Like, Sherlock deduces it must be a book that is so simple that anyone would have, so it will blend in. During this time, John gets a girlfriend, Sarah, and she's an okay character. She just there to give Sherlock idea. But before we get to the idea part, Sherlock is thinking, like, who would be able to smuggle things into London, like, and smuggle things out without being noticed, like the main operations. Like, if they were smuggling, like, if the two people were smuggling things into London, they must have a place where they can drop off the objects. So Sherlock thinks it's this traveling circus from China. So he gives John tickets to this show, and John takes Mary, but it also turns out Sherlock has his own ticket and tag along. And here we find It's like this scene just to find, like this scene is just to prove Sherlock theory is correct. How these guys, all professional to smuggle things out, how they can escape from anything. Yeah, after this, when Sherlock and John are looking through the books, Sarah says that it's a code, all because Sue translated some of the words. And you would think Sherlock would have looked at this already, right? Like, he has had this for like probably a day now. Anyways, so John and Sarah are about to go out again without Sherlock, and they get kidnapped, and Sherlock finds out the book they both own is A Traveller's Guide to London. So he deduces where they are hiding, where the smugglers are hiding, and the smugglers kidnap John because they think he's Sherlock. Like, this is really a scene taken out of James Bond. I mean, there's this device that will in a few minutes go off killing him. Like, I was expecting, like, John to say, "What, you expect me to talk?" And the villain goes like, "No, I expect you to die." Like, that's what I got from this episode. This is what I was expecting to happen in this scene, to be honest. Like, the villain of this week, she was like a James Bond villain, to be honest. A forgettable James Bond villain, worked for an even bigger villain. But Sherlock arrives, takes down her thugs, and the villain escapes. You think there's only happy days to come for John Watson and his best friend Sherlock Holmes. Well, it turns out the main villain of this week that is so forgettable, I forgot her name, is working for James Moriarty, who killed her off right after she failed him. Now let's give my thoughts on this episode. I thought it had a good premise, but also it felt way too long, had some drawn out scenes, some scenes they didn't even need, and how they just went on theories without any proof to back them up on those ideas they had. And I also thought, like, the villain was just a James Bond villain. I liked how we got to know John and Sherlock, how their lives are different. I also like the first 20 minutes. I think that's the best part of the episode, but I also like the scenes, the comedy elements to this episode. Overall, I give it a 7 out of 10. Until next time, I'm the Dynamic Duover, and I will be seeing you for Season 1 finale of Sherlock. Goodbye. The Dynamic Duover had just finished his second review for the second episode. And he kinda didn't like it, but he still gave it a 7 out of 10. So your plan could work because that is showing a bit more improvement on how the Dynamic Duover is liking the series.
It doesn't matter. I can't let him know how far I've come.
Sir, why do you have a gun? You're not gonna shoot me, are you?
I don't know.
Wait, I can be useful!
For what?
I'm making tea? No, please.